and associated disorders. So the first neurotransmitter we are going to talk about is the serotonin. So serotonin, the spelling is Serotonin. So the first letter serotonin, S, meaning sleep. Sleep. So serotonin is something that helps to maintain sleep. That is one action of serotonin. It helps to maintain sleep. And then it also maintains mood. So your mood of happiness, your mood of joy, your mood of the feeling you have, the mood you always get in, is also done by the neurotransmitter called serotonin. And then the symptoms associated with a decrease in serotonin is either you are depressed, you get depressed, anxiety, and then insomnia. So since serotonin is responsible for sleep, and then you have a decrease in the serotonin, or you have a decrease in the neurotransmitter serotonin. With that, you have a decrease in sleep because serotonin is responsible for maintaining sleep. And then some medications that can help are the amitriptylines. Yes, amitriptyline is a drug that could help with that. So the next neurotransmitter we talk about is epinephrine. Epinephrine. So epinephrine is it's part of the neurotransmitters that are responsible for excitatory. Yes, neurotransmitters that they are able to make you be on fire and they send messages across. So let's watch me learn. So epinephrine increases blood pressure, it speeds heart rate, inhibits the immune system. Increase epinephrine action, you get tachycardia, that is a rapid heart rate. Hypertension, that is high blood pressure. Okay. So epinephrine increases blood pressure. Epinephrine increases blood pressure, speeds heart rate, inhibits immune system. Increases blood pressure, inhibits immune system, it speeds up heart rate. So epinephrine is called tachycardia, hypertension. Okay. Adrenaline. And then we have dopamine. It regulates muscle tone, promotes motivation, decrease dopamine, causes Parkinson's disease, addiction, excessive dopamine action causes tics and schizophrenia. Low dopamine, some medication that helps. The cover. No. Gamma treat acid. Prevent excessive nerve activity, decreases GABA action. Epilepsy. Wow. The Latin, that's phenytoin, and then phenobarbital. So they increase GABA, they prevent epilepsy. So penicillin is maintaining mood and sleep. Decrease motivas, depression, and anxiety. Amitriptyline. No, tryptophan. Epinephrine increases blood pressure, heart rate, and then inhibits the immune system. An increase epinephrine action with tachycardia. Hypertension. Adrenaline. So dopamine regulates muscle tone and promotes motivation. So high dopamine means you are motivated. Dopamine decreases. When dopamine is decreased, you get Parkinson's disease. You get schizophrenia. GABA. So when GABA is reduced, you get epilepsy. So GABA prevents excessive nerve activity. Disorder of GABA, epilepsy. Medications, we have the phenytoin. Acetylcholine. Acetylcholine triggers muscle movement. Decreased acetylcholine causes myasthenia gravis. Okay. Myasthenia gravis. Myasthenia gravis. Amino acids neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters are involved in most functions of your nervous system. That is the glutamate. This is the most common excitatory neurotransmitter of your nervous system. It is the most abundant neurotransmitter in your brain. It plays a key role in cognitive function like thinking, learning, memory. Imbalances in glutamate levels are associated with Alzheimer's disease, dementia, Parkinson's disease, and seizures. Now, GABA, gamma amino butyric acid. GABA is the most common inhibitory neurotransmitter of your nervous system, particularly in your brain. It regulates activity to prevent problems in the area of anxiety, irritability, concentration, sleep, seizure, and depression. Glycine. Glycine is the most common inhibitory neurotransmitter in your spinal cord. Glycine is also involved in controlling hearing, processing, pain, transmission, and metabolism. Monoamines neurotransmitter. So this is amino acids. So under the amino acids, we have glycine, GABA, and then glutamate. So glycine, gamma, GABA, glutamate. Amino acids neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters play a lot of different roles in your nerve system, and especially in your brain. Monoamines neurotransmitter regulates consciousness, cognition, attention, and emotions. Many disorders of your nerve system involves abnormalities of monoamines, and many drugs that people commonly take affect their neurotransmitters. Serotonin. Serotonin is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. Serotonin helps regulate mood, sleep patterns, sexuality, anxiety, appetite, and pain. Disease associated with serotonin imbalance includes seasonal affective disorder, anxiety, depression, fibromyalgia, chronic pain. Medication that regulates serotonin and treats these disorders include selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor and serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. Histamine. Histamine regulates body function, including wakefulness, feeding behavior, and motivation. Histamine plays a role in asthma, bronchospasm, and mucosal edema, and multiple sclerosis. Dopamine. Dopamine plays a role in your body's reward system, which includes feeling pleasure, achieving heightened arousal, and learning. Dopamine also helps with focus, concentration, memory, sleep, mood, motivation. Disease associated with dopamine dysfunctioning system includes Parkinson's disease, schizophrenia, bipolar disease, restless restless leg syndrome, and attention deficit hyperactive disorder, that is ADHD. Many highly addictive drugs, cocaine, metam, methamphetamine, what? Methamphetamines, and then the amphetamines. Okay, I know about amphetamines, but amphetamines is new. Acts directly on the dopamine system. Epinephrine. Epinephrine, also called adrenaline and noradrenaline, are responsible for your body's so-called fight and flight response to fear and stress. These neurotransmitters stimulate your body's response by increasing your heart rate, breathing, blood pressure, blood sugar, and blood flow to your muscle, as well as heightened attention and focus to allow you to act or react to different stress. Too much epinephrine can lead to high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and other health problems. As a drug, epinephrine is used to treat anaphylaxis, asthma attack, cardiac arrest, and severe infections. Norepinephrine, also called noradrenaline, increases blood pressure and heart rate. It is most widely known for its effect on alertness, arousal, decision make, attention, focus. Many medications, that is stimulants and depression medications, aim to increase norepinephrine levels to improve focus or concentration, to treat ADHD, or to modulate norepinephrine to improve depression symptoms. Peptide neurotransmitters. Peptides are polymers or chains of amino acids. And endorphins. Endorphins are your body's natural pain reliever. They play a role in our perception of pain. Release of endorphin reduces pain, as well as causes feel-good feeling. Low level of endorphins may play a role in fibromyalgia and some types of headaches. Acetylcholine. This is a cytoneurotransmitter that does a number of functions in your central nervous system, that is the CNS, and in your peripheral nervous system. Acetylcholine is released by most neurons in your autonomic nervous system, regulating heart rate, blood pressure, and gut motility. Acetylcholine plays a role in muscle contractions, memory, motivation, and sexual desire, that is sleeping and learning. Imbalances in acetylcholine levels are linked with health issues like Alzheimer's disease, seizures, and muscle spasms. How are messages transmitted across the body? There are two main processes involved in how the body transmits information. The first is the sodium potassium pump, and then the second is the saltatory jump, and then sodium potassium pump. The resting potential. There are three main ions in sodium, potassium, and calcium, or chlorine. The membrane of the neuron is selectively permeable. What this means is that it has gates that allow specific ions to pass through. At certain points, sodium gates are closed, preventing it from entering the axon. Even as this is going on, potassium are also being leaking out at a slow rate. This causes the inside of the cell to be negatively charged compared to the outside. This is known as the resting potential. So the resting potential is a process whereby the sodium gate is closed and then the potassium is leaking out slowly. And then this causes the compound to be negatively charged, which is called the inside. And then it's also known as the resting potential, as a negative 70 MV. Action potential. When there is a stimulation, three things happen. Sodium and potassium gates open and allow positively charged ions to enter. This leads to a reversal action of the electrical charge. Reflex action. Reflex action is a sudden and involuntary response to stimuli. It helps organisms to quickly adapt to an adverse circumstance that could have a potential to cause bodily harm or even death. Pulling our hands away immediately after touching a hot or cold object is a clear example of reflex action. The first event begins with the receptor detecting a stimuli from a sensory organ. The stimuli could be in the form of pressure, temperature, chemical. This is followed by the sensing neuron sending a signal to the relay neuron. The relay neuron then sends a signal to the motor neuron. The motor neuron sends a signal to the organ or a cell that acts on the stimuli called the effector. Finally, the effector produces an instant response, such as a knee-jerk reaction.